The Second Amendment to the United States Constitution reads, "A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed." These words, enshrined in the Bill of Rights, stand as a testament to the Founding Fathers' vision of a nation built on individual liberty and secured by a well-armed citizenry. This amendment, debated and often misunderstood, lies at the heart of what it means to be American. It reflects a deep-seated belief in the right of self-defense, the importance of an armed citizenry capable of defending its freedom, and a fundamental distrust of unchecked government power. The Second Amendment's placement in the Bill of Rights, alongside other fundamental rights, such as freedom of speech and religion, underscores its significance. It is not a secondary right or a privilege granted by the government. Rather, it is a pre-existing right, inherent in the nature of free individuals, that the government is explicitly forbidden from infringing upon. Understanding the Second Amendment requires delving into its historical context, examining the intent of the Founding Fathers, and acknowledging its continued relevance in safeguarding the freedoms we cherish today. To truly grasp the importance of the Second Amendment, one must journey back to the tumultuous years leading up to the American Revolution. The colonists, subjects of the British Crown, faced increasing oppression and encroachment upon their liberties. The British government, seeking to maintain control over its colonies, imposed taxes without representation and sought to disarm the populace. The Founding Fathers, drawing upon Enlightenment ideals and their own experiences, recognized that a well-armed citizenry served as a crucial deterrent to tyranny. They had witnessed firsthand how a disarmed populace was vulnerable to oppression. The battles of Lexington and Concord, where American colonists took up arms against British troops attempting to seize their weapons, served as a stark reminder of the importance of a well-armed citizenry. This historical context is essential in understanding the Second Amendment. It was not about hunting or sport shooting, but about ensuring the newly formed nation possessed the means to defend itself against both internal and external threats. It was about empowering citizens to resist tyranny, should it arise again on American soil. The Second Amendment, therefore, stands as a lasting legacy of the American Revolution, a reminder of the sacrifices made to secure liberty, and a safeguard against the re-emergence of tyranny. The Second Amendment explicitly links the right to keep and bear arms with the need for a well-regulated militia. However, the term militia often causes confusion in modern interpretations. It's crucial to understand that the Founding Fathers viewed the militia not as a select group or a standing army, but as the body of the people themselves. James Madison, the father of the Constitution, wrote in Federalist No. 46 that the militia consisted of the whole people, or any part of them. This concept of a citizen militia, composed of ordinary individuals ready to defend their communities and their nation, was central to the founders' vision. They believed that a standing army posed a potential threat to liberty, as it could be used by a tyrannical government to suppress the people. A citizen militia, on the other hand, dispersed power among the people and served as a safeguard against both internal and external threats. The Second Amendment's reference to a well-regulated militia simply means that citizens should be proficient in the use of arms and prepared to answer the call to duty when necessary. It did not imply that the right to bear arms was contingent upon militia service or subject to government regulation. Section 4. An individual right protecting life and liberty. The Second Amendment's language is clear. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. This simple yet powerful phrase has been the subject of much debate, but its meaning is undeniable. The right to bear arms is an individual right, belonging to all citizens, not just those serving in a militia. The Founding Fathers repeatedly emphasized the individual nature of this right. Thomas Jefferson wrote, "No free man shall ever be debarred the use of arms." George Mason, another prominent founder, declared, I ask, "Sir, what is the militia? It is the whole people except for a few public officials." This individual right to bear arms served multiple purposes. First and foremost, it guaranteed the right to self-defense, allowing individuals to protect themselves, their families, and their property from criminals. Secondly, it provided a means of deterring crime. Criminals are less likely to target individuals who may be armed and capable of defending themselves. This principle remains as true today as it was in the 18th century. Thirdly, The right to bear arms served as a final check on government tyranny. While the founders believed in establishing a government of laws, they also recognized the potential for government overreach. A well-armed citizenry, they reasoned, could serve as a deterrent to tyranny and, when necessary, resist oppression. Section 5. Landmark Cases. Upholding the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment, like all constitutional rights, has been tested and challenged throughout American history. However, the Supreme Court in landmark cases has consistently upheld the individual right to keep and bear arms. In the 2008 case of District of Columbia v. Heller, the Supreme Court struck down a handgun ban in Washington, D.C., affirming for the first time in the court's history that the Second Amendment protects an individual's right to possess a firearm unconnected with service in a militia, and to use that arm for traditionally lawful purposes, such as self-defense within the home. 2 years later, in McDonald v. Chicago, the Supreme Court incorporated the Second Amendment against the states, meaning that state and local governments are prohibited from infringing on the individual right to bear arms. This case solidified the Second Amendment status as a fundamental right applicable to all Americans. These landmark decisions reaffirmed the original intent of the Second Amendment and struck down attempts by governments to infringe on the individual right to bear arms. They serve as crucial precedents, guiding lower courts and policymakers in upholding this fundamental right. Section 6. A bulwark against tyranny, the right to bear arms. The Second Amendment stands as a bulwark against tyranny, a principle enshrined in the very fabric of the United States. The Founding Fathers, acutely aware of the dangers of unchecked power, recognized that a well-armed citizenry served as a crucial deterrent to government overreach. They understood that governments, even those founded on principles of liberty, could succumb to the temptation of tyranny. History is replete with examples of governments turning against their own people, disarming them, and suppressing their freedoms. The Second Amendment, therefore, serves as a safeguard, a reminder to those in power that the ultimate source of authority resides in the people. It is a deterrent to tyranny, a means of last resort should government become oppressive. The Constitution gives no power to the government to regulate or restrict the right to bear arms. In fact, it expressly forbids it. The government has no power to regulate firearm ownership or the type of weapons the people can own. It serves as a constant reminder of the limits of government power and the importance of individual liberty. Section 7. The legal definition of arms. The legal definition of arms encompasses anything that can be used for defense or offense. This broad interpretation includes not only firearms but also knives, clubs, body armor, and other implements that can serve a protective or combative purpose. Understanding this definition is crucial to comprehending the full scope of the Second Amendment. The Founding Fathers envisioned a citizenry equipped to defend itself against threats, both foreign and domestic. This wide-ranging definition ensures that citizens are not limited to a specific type of weaponry, allowing for adaptability and resilience in the face of various challenges. It emphasizes the principle that the right to bear arms is not merely about guns. It is about the fundamental ability to protect oneself and one's community. As society evolves and new forms of weaponry emerge, the legal definition of arms must also adapt. This ensures that the Second Amendment remains relevant and effective in safeguarding individual liberty and security. It is a dynamic concept, reflecting the ever-changing landscape of threats and the means available to counter them. The broad legal definition of arms underscores the enduring importance of the Second Amendment in maintaining a free and secure society. In conclusion, the Second Amendment's protection extends beyond firearms, encompassing a diverse array of tools for defense. This comprehensive understanding reinforces the principle that the right to bear arms is a vital component of personal and collective security. Stay frosty, friends. Keep your head down and your powder dry.